Got to start. Hello, good afternoon, everyone present here. So, today we'll be starting a very important topic of ENT, which is tracheostomy. Okay, so this topic is very, very important if your theory, as per your theory exams are concerned, or your vivas are concerned, or even in your instruments, because you will be shown the tracheostomy tube and all. So, you have to really focus on this topic. It is very, very, very important. So, in this topic I have tried to make a new way of learning you all. Why? Because this should be learned firstly. Secondly, you must know all the details of this topic. If you will have your anesthesias postings and all, there also you will be told about this topic. So it is very important emergency procedure as well as elective procedure to save someone's life. Okay, so this topic you have to be very serious about it and you have to listen carefully. So just remove all the distraction and you just have to listen to me in this topic. Now here what I did is basically I just made the slides which has only headings. Okay, so I have not written a lot of information here. Why? Because I want you to learn as much as possible in this class, but I will request you to all make your notes here. Why? Because this topic is very important, so you have to make your own notes. For other things I have provided you all the PPTs and all, but here I want you to take some effort and write down all the things that are important. I will be writing down here, you will be having all the details in written, don't worry about it, but I just want you to put in your effort here. Okay, so as I made myself very clear, just remove all the things around you, just focus here. Okay, so let's start this topic, which is tracheostomy. Okay, first of all I would like to tell you what is tracheostomy. So we'll break this topic. Okay, one second. Okay, so we will break this topic and we will write it as tracheo plus stomy. So tracheo means we are referring to as your trachea. Stomy means a hole, kind of a thing, right? So what we are doing is, in this position, somewhere around here, I will be telling you the exact location, we are creating an incision and making a hole here. Okay, so that a person can take in the air. Clear? Easy? You must have learned about the word stoma, right? So we make a opening. Okay, so the correct word is here opening. So I'm making an opening here so that passage can be made and air can go inside. Itna samjha? Very clear. Okay, so how do you define tracheostomy? So it is a procedure which can be done in emergency, or it can be done electively, right? So it is a procedure where the anterior wall of trachea is opened or a stoma is made, allowing the air to enter inside the trach. Clear? This is what tracheostomy means. Good to go? Made myself clear here? Okay. Now you can see here a image which is showing your cricoid cartilage. Okay, and then you can see your all thyroid ka notch and all. Here will be your thyroid. This is your hyoid bone, and you can see here trachea. Okay, so this is your trachea, and you can see here two types of incisions are given. One is vertical and other is horizontal, right? So just remember abhi ke liye, that we have something called as horizontal incision and vertical incision. Correct? Okay. Up to now, what I said was that we are creating an opening inside your trachea, okay, so that air can pass in. Clear? 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 Okay. So let's go ahead, then we'll come back to this picture. So what is the anatomy of trachea? First of all, we'll focus on that thing. Okay, so this is your trachea. If you will extend your neck and you will feel it, you can feel something ring like structure or the circular structure around your neck, right? So these are your rings of trachea, which is most important airflow tract. Okay, so it comes in your upper respiratory tract, then it bifurcates into your bronchioles. Correct, right? So right bronchiole, left bronchiole, and like bronchus, bronchus, bronchiole, bronchiole, alveoli. This is the whole thing, right? So so we have trachea here, and we have the further division, right? And these get further divided into bronchioles, tertiary bronchiole, primary bronchiole, right? Primary, secondary, tertiary, respiratory bronchiole, and then you have, and then you have, and then you have, okay. So we have trachea, which is again divided into right bronchus and left bronchus, and then we have primary, secondary, tertiary bronchiole, and then we have the alveoli, right? So these are your alveoli, which help in the gaseous exchange. Okay, so this is trachea, where you have to make the incision. So how do you identify the trachea? So these are C-shaped cartilaginous rings, which are C-shaped in the front, like there's nothing at the back. Okay, so these are C-shaped cartilaginous ring, and these are incomplete ring, right? Okay, so this is how you identify trachea, right? Now, behind the trachea, you have something called as esophagus, right? So when you are cutting on trachea, you can, if you go deep, you can even cut on esophagus. So that is one of the complication, right? So this is why you need to know the anatomy, that you have a trachea here, and then you have a esophagus, and here are your strap muscles, which you have to firstly retract. Then you will see the trachea, right? And then you have the esophagus behind. Here are the nerves and all going on. We will not go there. Why? Because only we are making incision on the trachea. We are not extending it till here or something. Clear? So for now, you just have to remember that you have trachea here, and then here is the esophagus. Okay, now where do we take the incision? That is at T2 to T4, like the second to fourth tracheal ring, depending on the person. If the person is having short neck, like we'll taking on T2. If it is having long neck, then we can take on T4, T3, right? So T2 to T4 is the location where you have to take the incision. Correct? Okay, now going on further, what is the need of tracheostomy? Why are we doing it, right? So for that, you need to know the indications of tracheostomy, but before that, you have to know the types. Okay, so now we have another slide where I have told you all the types of tracheostomy, but we will have to say only majorly two types. Okay, and we will have to refer to it only for now. Okay, so tracheostomy is divided into, like it has two types, which is elective and which is emergency. Okay, what does that mean now? So elective is when I am already prepared as a doctor to do the tracheostomy of the patient. Okay, I know that this particular indication requires tracheostomy, and I will be preparing that person, even I will be counseling that person pehle se. Okay, but if, for example, there's an emergency case in your ER, okay, and then a patient comes with no like he's not able to breathe because of some obstruction here, right? So if there is a big foreign body that is inside the trachea, and the person is not able to breathe, and you're not able to take any you're not able to take out the foreign body, and even you're not able to, like the SpO2 levels are falling and all, so you have to do immediately tracheostomy. So that is what is emergency tracheostomy. Okay, clear? So this is how two types of tracheostomy are done. Now based on that also, if we are doing something called as elective tracheostomy, we are prepared for it. So we have to give the patient best outcome, right? So in emergency, we just have to think that we have to save person's life. That's all, right? So that's all we have to think about. But whenever we are doing elective tracheostomy, then we have to be cosmetically fine, then we have to rule out each and every complication that can occur. Like we also have to look in the emergency tracheostomy, that thing. But yes, in elective tracheostomy, we will be more cautious about every outcome, right? But in emergency, we're just focusing that the person should be saved. Okay, so in elective tracheostomy, we have to take something called as horizontal incision. Why? Because these are your Langerhans lines, so we'll take accordingly the incision. So the horizontal incision is cosmetically better, right? So that is why we do horizontal incision in elective tracheostomy. And In emergency one we can do vertical because it is more like easier thing, because we'll do it like this and we'll able to open it nicely, right? Usme one person can do it nicely, and strap muscles ka bhi the orientation is like this, so it is easy to open it in a this way, right? So that is why we do vertical incision. But also it depends on surgeon's choice, right? Some of the surgeons are trained to do vertical incisions in all over the tracheostomy, so it depends on surgeons also. But yes, if you think outcome wise and also cosmetically, that we have to think about, so that is why horizontal incision is better, right? Okay, so now we have to discuss what are the indications of tracheostomy, why is it done. Okay, so first is, it is alternative pathway of breathing. So normally this is your trachea. If I am making an opening here, directly the air will go inside and your lungs will be inflated, and that is how you will able to breathe, correct? Okay, now it improves the alveolar ventilation. Yeah, exactly. If a person is coming in your respiratory distress, so all these indications which I'm telling you is the person will coming to you in a respiratory distress, correct? So it protects the, one second. दिस इज़ डन टू चेक फॉर माइक्रोग्राफिया विच इज़ सीन इन पार्किंसंस. मतलब क्या कि अगर पेशेंट है कोई पार्किंसंस का, तो उसकी राइटिंग छोटी होती जाएगी, छोटी होती जाएगी, जैसे वो और लिखता जाएगा, तो वैसे ही चेक कराते रहा करो. Okay, so I'm taking this slide again. Okay, so I'll start again. Okay. So this was about the anatomy. Now we have to discuss what are the indications and what are the functions of tracheostomy, why we have to do. Okay, so how it helps a person. Okay, so before that we have to basically focus on what are the types of tracheostomy. In further slides also I have mentioned about the types, but let's discuss. I'll give you a small brief about tracheostomy types. Okay, so there are two types, which is elective and emergency tracheostomy, right? So in elective tracheostomy, what we do is we prepare the patient that yes, now we have to create an accessory pathway so that air can travel in and you're not able to breathe. Okay, so we are continuously monitoring the patient, and now we feel that there is need of tracheostomy, so the patient is counseled properly, the doctor is well prepared, right? So we have to focus on all the other outcomes that are possible and reduce as much as complications we can, right? So in that case, for elective one, what we have to do is we have to take the horizontal incision. Why? Because that is cosmetically better, right? It is along the lines of incisions, right? Langerhans lines ke according we have to take the horizontal incision, so that will be cosmetically better, it will heal better. Okay, less scar and all. So that is why in elective cases we go for horizontal incision. But in emergency But in emergency situation, what we do is we need to save the person's life. That is the main benefit, that is the main goal. We obviously have to look for that there should not be any complication and all, but yes, we are primarily focused on a thing that we have to save person's life, that's all. So what we do is we take फटाफट से horizontal vertical incision, and then it's easy to strap all the muscles and all. So we can take out the strap muscles अच्छे से, right? Take out in the sense we can retract them, and it's easy to go it in this way, right? So but yes, it depends on the surgeon's choice also, because I have seen a lot of people, they are doing vertical incision only in elective surgeries. But yes, according to your books, you have to know this fact that yes, horizontal is better one cosmetically. And by the way, it depends on surgeon's choice for whichever kind of thing he's trained or she's trained. Okay, works. Now we have to discuss about what are the functions of tracheostomy, like how it helps. Okay, for example, let's take one thing. I am not able to breathe, I'm gasping for my breath, my CO2 levels are falling and all, my vitals are not stable, and I'm not able to breathe. In that case, what you did is you created a stoma over here and allowed me to breathe. Okay. Okay. So it acts as an alternative pathway for breathing, because air will directly enter inside, bypassing this whole area, directly coming into trachea and then going into your lungs. It improves the alveolar ventilation, yeah, because it is directly going into your alveoli, and at that time when you needed the air most, it will be provided, right? So it also protects the airway. What ways is basically it can collapse, right? In that way we are referring to as protecting the airway, right? So it can collapse. Why? Because of like no amount of air. It will also create some amount of dead space when we'll do the tracheostomy, but yes, it protects the airway. Okay. Now it also permits removal of tracheobron. Okay. Okay, so it also permits removal of tracheobronchial secretions. What does that mean? Just make a star mark on this point. We will discuss how, why, why I'm saying this thing. So just star it and mark it, and we'll discuss it further. Okay. Now intermittent positive pressure respiration. What does that mean? Okay. So basically, you know that in your atmosphere there is high pressure, and here in your cavity, in your respiratory tract, even in your lungs, there is negative pressure, so that air can go from high pressure to low pressure, right? So what we're doing is here we are creating a stoma, and we're directly providing the positive pressure so that air can directly seep in, right? So that is why a small opening is created, area into volume wala ratio is taken into consideration, and then air goes inside. Okay. And to administer anesthesia, this is also you will be learning in the steps. Okay. So these are the functions of tracheostomy. Whenever a person is coming in the respiratory distress, this is how tracheostomy is helpful. Okay. Okay. Now we have types of tracheostomy. So I told you about the elective, I told you about the emergency, and then something is known as permanent tracheostomy, which means now you have done tracheostomy and person is not able to breathe at all without it. Okay, so you have to keep the tube. वैसे it is like, okay, let me tell you one thing पहले तो, what are the ways of providing helping the patient in respiration. Okay, so maintaining the airway, for maintaining the airway, ठीक है, we have a lot of ways, right? So firstly we have something called as ET tube, which is an endotracheal tube. So this tube is the ideal method. Okay, so this is the best method for maintaining the airway. So what is done is, if you have seen ET tube in your whole MBBS, so something okay, I'll make a photograph if I'm able to. So this is like this, and there is some pressure wala, and here is a tube, there is Murphy's eye, then here's a cuff attached to it. So this is something, this kind of a shape of ET tube, which the length is measured from here to here, and this can be placed from nasal tract also, like I can place it in the nose, in the nasal tract, and then into the your trachea, or I can directly place it via mouth. Okay, so this is how ET tube is placed, and you have to firstly insert a laryngoscope and then you have to insert an ET tube, right? So this is the ideal way. Even during the anesthesia, even in your surgeries, even in your operation theater, you must have seen a lot of patients with ET tube, right? To prevent the aspiration, to provide the airway and all. But the thing is, we cannot keep this ET tube for long time. Okay, so wherever we see that patient is not able to breathe itself, right, and we cannot keep ET tube more than for 3 weeks, right? So in that case, we have to provide tracheostomy. We have to create a hole over there and we have to allow the air to go in through that pathway. Okay, so ET tube ke alag complication है, that will be told you sometime in the other lecture. Okay, so we'll focus on the types of tracheostomy. This is what I meant about permanent. So this is what I meant about permanent tracheostomy, that permanently you have to keep the tube. It doesn't mean that you do not take it out or something or something. I'll tell you how the care is taken, how tracheostomy tube is put in, how it has to be removed and all. Okay, so just for your mind, you just have to remember. So for now, you just have to remember these two main types. And some teachers are fond of asking what are the other ways, like with except tracheostomy, what can you do? So there's something called as mini tracheostomy, which is also known as cricothyroidotomy. What does that mean? You cut this muscle. You cut the cricothyroid muscle and you allow the seepage of air. So basically it is a thing which is very, very, very temporary solution, wherein you're not able to intubate a patient. Okay, so you're not able to put in tracheostomy tube, you're not able to put in ET tube, and you have to do the surgery. In that case, for temporary thing, you can just cut on the cricothyroid muscle. Okay, so mainly you have to remember these two types. Clear with this? Okay. Okay, clear with this? Okay. So up till now, what we discussed is, we discussed what is tracheostomy, we discussed the functions of tracheostomy, we discussed the anatomy and the types. Okay, now we are moving on to something called as indications of tracheostomy, which is why we have to do it. Okay, so I've made it in the headings. So first is respiratory obstruction. Okay, so whenever there is obstruction in the respiratory tract, so how can obstruction be there? Okay, so now we have to learn the causes. Yes, this is important. You will be directly asked what are the indications of tracheostomy and you have to write almost all of them. Okay, examiner be like or, because there are so many. Okay, so first is most common, that is infections. So as you must have learned about it in acute laryngotracheobronchitis or acute epiglottitis, so all these things are seen amongst the children. Okay, or the diphtheria. So let's focus on thoda things. So acute epiglottitis is complete inflammation of epiglottis. तो वहाँ पर edema हो जाएगा, laryngeal edema हो जाएगा, patient को stridor होगा, ठीक है. So there will be obstruction in the sense, because of the edema, because of the inflammation, there will be, the person or the child is not able to speak even, or not able to inhale properly. So that is where tracheostomy is done. And then croup, which is like whooping cough. Okay, so acute laryngotracheobronchitis. So in that case also, there's stridor, the child is not able to even breathe. So that way also we have to do. Diphtheria, if you know, there is pseudomembrane formed around your trachea, right? So there will be whitish membrane which will stopping the air to pass through it, right? Then we have something called as Ludwig's angina. So here there will be complete cellulitis throughout. So it will be so immense that all these spaces, your retropharyngeal spaces, your parapharyngeal spaces, they will be infiltrated by your Ludwig's angina. So it is nothing but a cellulitis of your this area, but yes, it can spread and all and it can also cause the obstruction. Why? Because it will compress your airway from this side and there will be constriction and you will not be able to breathe. Okay, peritonsillar, retropharyngeal, parapharyngeal abscess, tongue abscess, you must have read about all those things, right? So all these things will be creating an obstruction here, they will be compressing your pathway and there will be narrowing or the constriction, so air will be not able to go through this, right? करेक्ट, समझा अच्छे से. सो इफ़ यू रिमेंबर दीज आर योर एंटीरियर पिलर्स और उसमें यू हैव योर टॉन्सिल्स. सो इधर पे अगर पूरा इन्फ्लेमेशन हुआ सो दे विल come closer to each other. If you remember the grades of tonsils, right? So there will be no pathway for air to go in only, right? And all these abscesses can even spread from one space to other, you know that, right? Retropharyngeal can go in the paravertebral space, your peritonsillar can go into retropharyngeal space, correct? So these are interlinked. Okay, so most important is your infections, which are very common, right? Next is trauma. So anything that is directly coming onto your trachea or your larynx, obviously ये पूरा area will be damaged and ऊपर से air आ रहा है, doesn't matter, right? So you have to create a stoma below that, right? So external injury of the larynx or the trachea, or even when you are doing endoscopy. So this is a procedure. If, like, for example, a child comes to you and complains you for DNS, for example, or ठीक है, so what you do is you put in the endoscope to check what is the amount of nasal septum deviated, or what is the type and all, is there any other thing, any polyp, anything you have to check, you do the endoscopy, right? So you put in the scope and you are going below, and what you noticed is here you perforated the thing, so that is also one of the indications. So you did the iatrogenic trauma and then you have to give the tracheostomy. Then fractures of the mandible and maxilla, right? So इधर से पूरा fracture हुआ, so there will be no pathway to go inside, right? इस case में तो you cannot even put ET tube via the mouth. You will try it via the nasal area, but yes, it can be obstructed if it is extensive fracture. So you have to create the stoma here. समझ आ रहा है ना? So one thing we have learned about is infections, and secondly is your trauma. Okay. Next up we have the neoplasms. Okay. सोचो यहाँ पर अगर कोई भी ग्रोथ है, लारिंग्स में है, फैरिंग्स में है, तो इट विल बी पोस्टीरियरली कंप्रेसिंग योर एयरवे, राइट? यू हैव टू बी क्लियर विद योर एनाटमी हियर. Like larynx, pharynx, it's my favorite topic. Like, I just love the anatomy and here bit, but here you have to be clear about larynx and pharynx anatomy. What space is present here, where is larynx, where is pharynx, how they are compressing on each other. समझ आ रहा है? So you have to be thorough with your anatomy classes. पहले go to my videos where I have taught you anatomy of pharynx and larynx, and then come back here. Okay. So these are benign and malignant neoplasm which can occur in your larynx also, and here, like, larynx is your जहाँ से तुम्हारी आवाज़ आ रही है, right? Your vocal cords where they are vibrating, right? So ऐसे समझ लो. One second. Okay, तो ऐसे समझ लो. Why is it not working? Okay. So basically this is your base of tongue, right? This is your base of tongue, and then you will be entering into your epiglottis, right? And here will be your aryepiglottic fold. This is your aryepiglottic fold. ठीक है, this is your base of tongue, this is your epiglottis, and there will be your vocal cords, right? So any growth here will be actually compressing larynx. What does larynx do? It also protects your airway, right? So यहाँ पर कोई भी ग्रोथ हुआ, ट्रकिया कंप्रेस होगा, ग्रोथ आई पीछे से, आगे से, कहीं से भी, राइट? सो नियोप्लाज्म्स. देन फॉरेन बॉडी इनसाइड द लैरिंग्स, कुछ भी नहीं होगा. यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू स्पीक, इवन यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू फोनेट, यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू ब्रीथ. पूरा यहाँ पे ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन हो गया. Edema of larynx, same. So due to any steam, irritant, fumes or gases which is accumulating here continuously because of the chronic exposure, so that can also cause. Then bilateral abductor paralysis. How do you phonate? If you remember, let me just remind you one thing. So your vocal cords need to vibrate, right? How do they vibrate? Whenever you expire, so that expiration creates a pressure over there, and due to that you are able to speak. समझा? यहाँ पे if you keep your finger you will able to feel the vibrations. So when I am speaking, when I am expirating, then only I am able to produce the sound. Very important thing to remember. So I'm just writing it here that expiration produces the sound, right? So this expiration producing the sound whenever these vocal cords are paralyzed. If you remember in the palsies wala lecture, I told you that this is your vocal cord. Whenever they are like this, median पर, ठीक है, then we are able to speak, we are able to phonate. When they are थोड़ा सा far, we are able to whisper ऐसे, hi, how are you, समझा? So this is how. And then when they are like this and this, then we are able to like स्ट्राइडर होगा या कुछ भी होगा, समझ रहा है, इंस्पिरेशन एक्सपिरेशन, दिस इज हाउ ऑल द मूवमेंट्स आर अफेक्टेड. सो गो टू द चैप्टर अगेन एंड कम बैक, रिवाइज एंड देन सी दिस वीडियो. ओके, सो बायलैटरल अबडक्टर पैल्सी हुआ तो ऐसे होगा ही नहीं, समझा, तो वो फोनेट ही नहीं कर पाएगा, ठीक है. इंटरमीडिएट पोजीशन पे है तो कैडेवरिक हो गया, इधर है तो फोनेट हो पाएगा. अब अबडक्टर ही नहीं हो रहा है तो दिस विल नॉट गो लाइक दिस, देयर विल बी नो फोनेशन, राइट. सो इन दैट केस ऑल्सो यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू स्पीक, यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू एक्सपायर. स्पीक नहीं कर पा रहे, व्हाट डज दैट मीन? एक्सपीरेशन ही नहीं हो रहा है, तो एक्सपीरेशन कब नहीं होगा? जब ब्रीथ नहीं कर पाओगे, राइट. सो दैट इज हाउ यू हैव टू रिलेट. एंड व्हेन देयर आर कंजेनाइटल abnormalities like लेरेंजियल वेब सिस्ट, ट्रक्यो ईसोफेजियल फिस्टुला हो गया तो एयर ही नहीं जा रहा है, सारा एयर ईसोफेगस में जा रहा होगा. बायलैटरल कोआनल अट्रेजिया होगा. सो इन दैट एरिया वेयर द कोआनाज आर देयर, राइट, उसके ऊपर इफ देयर इज मेम्ब्रेन अटैच्ड, राइट, सो दैट इज नोन एज कोआनल अट्रेजिया विच नीड्स टू बी gone whenever you take birth, right. So if it is there, if it is present, that means there is congenital abnormality and you will not be able to even put the nasogastric tube in that case. Okay, and then you come to know that yes, there is choanal atresia and then you have to operate for it. You just have to remove the membrane, samjha? Okay, then we have retained secretions. Okay, this was the respiratory causes, that why there are obstructions whenever there are trauma, whenever there is neoplasm or any congenital abnormality, any palsies, anything related to larynx. So this will cause obstruction in your respiratory tract and air will not be able to go in. Okay, now what we have is retained secretions. What does that mean? Like, now what we do is whenever we feel something is here, or whenever the cilia is present here in the respiratory tract, which is a ciliated columnar epithelium, those cilia, they move, right, and they throw the secretions out of the tract. So it comes via mouth or it comes via nose. Clear? So whenever we are not able to cough out, these secretions will be pooled here. There will be pooling of secretions and will not be able to speak, right. Not speak, even we will not be able to breathe because it will not allow the air to pass in. Okay, so what are the causes where we cannot cough? So if there is any palsy, right, if there is any like aspiration pneumonia, or if there is something called as damage to any nerve, right. Okay, so spasm of the muscles, so all these causes are where we are not able to cough, right. So like if a person is in coma, right, so that person will not be able to do anything, right, because uski body ही paralyzed है, the brain cells are dead almost, right. So that is why the patient's cough reflex, all those reflexes will be inhibited. So in head injuries, cerebrovascular accidents, which is in the cases of stroke, right, narcotic overdose, yeah, it suppresses your brain, so there will be no reflex. Then paralysis of the respiratory muscles, like all your respiratory muscles are not even helping you out. What happens is, this is how we do before coughing. So what we create is, we create a positive pressure inside we like inspire, and it creates a pressure so that we can like spout it out, right. So all the muscles, they contract, and that is how a cough comes out, right, or the secretions come out. So if there is paralysis of your respiratory muscles, it will not. So like spinal injuries ho gaya, polio hai, GBS hai, you will learn about this in medicine. Okay, GBS ka pura detailed hoga, myasthenia gravis again pura detailed hoga. So these are the basically your CNS syndromes, you can say, wherein your postsynaptic transmission is affected in your myasthenia gravis. Okay, so it will be affecting acetylcholine release and your muscle contraction will not occur, right? So this is how paralysis of respiratory, or for the sake any muscle can occur, right? So basically whenever in all the diseases like GBS, even your myasthenia gravis, if paralysis of respiratory muscles or the diaphragm is getting involved, that is very bad prognosis. That means the disease has extended, it is widespread, and now you really have to do a lot of things to save a patient, and it is really difficult to save a patient in that case. Okay, then we have spasm of respiratory muscles, tetanus, right? Same thing. Tetanus also blocks the things, right? Then eclampsia, seizures आ रहा है, तो obviously seizures आ रहा है, तो what is the first thing that is being told to a person? कि उसको laterally लेटा दो. What does that help? How does that help? That lateral position, it basically will not allow your passage to close. Your tongue can go back and can cause the obstruction, and your air will not be entering inside, and even your secretions or the saliva will go inside. समझ रहा है? एंड इवन इन योर लाइक लैटरल पोजिशन, स्टमक से भी कंटेंट्स बाहर नहीं आ सकते हैं, समझ रहे? सो योर ईसोफेजियल स्फिंक्टर विल बी क्लोज. दैट इज वाई अ लैटरल पोजिशन इज प्रेफर्ड. ओके, सो इन eclampsia, strychnine poisoning, these all will be causing basically nothing but spasm of your muscles, right? Then when there is painful cough also, whenever you're coughing, if it is painful, you'll not be doing that, right? Why you're giving yourself pain? So whenever there is injury to your chest area, stab wound or anything, multiple rib fractures, even in your pneumonia, and even in your pneumonia sometimes a patient is so weak, then there can be paralysis of the muscles, uh, like if the patient is malnourished and all. And even in your aspiration pneumonia, which is most common complication of a lot of procedures can occur, right? Then aspiration of pharyngeal secretions, again same thing. If the muscles are weak here, if the nerves are weak here, you cannot like throw the secretions out, right? So you will take everything inside. Bilateral laryngeal paralysis, polyneuritis, which is बहुत सारी नर्व्स का इन्फ्लेमेशन. सो इस एरिया में इफ़ यू रिमेंबर देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ नर्व्स. रेकरेंट लारेंजियल है विच इज सप्लाइंग all of your larynx extrinsic muscles except cricothyroid, राइट? समझ रहे हैं ना? वॉट आई एम सेइंग इज यहाँ पे कोई भी नर्व अफेक्ट हो गई, सो यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू डू दैट. Okay, so this is what retained secretions means. And the third cause is respiratory insufficiency. If any condition which is leading to your lung pathology, like in your COPD, right? COPD has various things like emphysema, your asthma, right? So what happens here is they makes the lungs constricted. Moreover, like emphysema is occurring at the levels of alveoli, so it will constrict the alveoli. यहाँ fibrosis हो जाएगा, ventilation perfusion mismatch हो जाएगा, right? So there will be no perfusion, right? Mismatch हो गया, hypoxia हो जाएगा, person is already not able to breathe. Okay, so obviously in these cases you have to treat the primarily lung situation first, but yes, you have to create a passage ताकि थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा air जाए. Okay, एटेलेक्टिसिस हो गया, कोलैप्स हो गया, तो एटलीस्ट ट्रकिया वो रहे, ट्रकिया कोलैप्स ना हो, ठीक है? समथिंग लाइक दैट, यू हैव टू फिगर इट आउट. ओके, सो या ऑल दीज कंडीशंस आर रिलेटेड टू व्हाट आर द इंडिकेशंस ऑफ ट्रकियोस्टोमी, एंड you have to remember all of them. I hope I tried my best to explain you all the conditions so that you don't have to cram it. But yes, if you are clear with your anatomy and previous lectures of larynx and pharynx, you will be able to understand all the things mostly. Okay? Okay. So now comes the technique of tracheostomy, how it is done, okay, and what is the procedure. First, in any procedure, in ENT, you have to learn a lot of techniques, like you have to learn about how endoscopy is performed, you have to learn about tonsillectomy, adenoidectomy, and your corticomastoidectomy, all these things. So you have to mention it in 3 groups. Like moreover, if I say position, anesthesia, procedure, and then complications, yes, I have mentioned it in the ahead slides. Okay, so this is how you have to write the headings, and this is how your examiner will like to check it. ओके, बिकॉज दे नो तुम्हें आता है, राइट. बट द वे यू प्रेजेंट योर पेपर और द वे यू राइट, द वे यू एक्सप्लेन, इट मैटर्स. अगर उन्होंने तुमसे पूछा व्हाट इज द प्रोसीजर ऑफ ट्रैक्योस्टोमी, उन्होंने सिंपल बोल दिया एक्सप्लेन ट्रैक्योस्टोमी. So how you will start? You will not say कि I'll make the incision over the T2 and T4 and then I'll cut the thing and then retract the strap muscles. No, you have to tell the procedure, then you have to tell about the anesthesia and all. समझ रहे हो? That is why I have written it in this way. Okay. So if you are identifying this position, good. So this is what is Rose position. What does that mean? Extension at your atlantoaxial and your cervicothoracic joint. Why we are doing it? खुद से feel करो. ऐसे हो तो इट्स नॉट, यू आर नॉट लाइक एक्सपोजिंग द ट्रकिया वेरी मच. ऐसे हो तो योर ट्रकिया इज मोर एक्सपोज, राइट. सो दैट इज वाई वी डू एक्सटेंशन, नॉट हाइपर एक्सटेंशन. बट येस, इन सम केसेज ऑल्सो वेन एवर सर्वाइकल इंजरी हुआ है या कुछ हुआ है, सो इट्स रियली डिफिकल्ट फॉर दैट पर्सन टू परफॉर्म ऑन इट, राइट. सो सर्वाइकल इंजरी का भी ध्यान रखना है. सो इट्स नॉट हाइपर एक्सटेंशन, इट्स जस्ट एक्सटेंशन. ओके, सो पोजिशन में यू हैव रिटन रोज पोजिशन एंड देन यू हैव टू राइट extension at atlantoaxial joint and cervicothoracic. You have to write in this way in your notes. Okay, why I'm making you write is because you will understand this topic better. Okay. So this was position. Okay, तो तुमने ऐसे उसको रख दिया. Now the patient will feel the pain, तो you have to give the anesthesia. Okay, so हम local anesthesia भी दे सकते हैं. Regional anesthesia is not required in this case. So what we do is we use lignocaine. Okay, and we use adrenaline along with it. So this is anesthesia. Now if you know the reason why adrenaline is added, good, tap yourself. So why is it added? So adrenaline is a vasoconstrictor. One thing, it will help better seepage or better utilization of lignocaine. Okay, secondly, it will make the lignocaine to act longer. Okay, समझा? तो this are the things why we need to add adrenaline to it. Okay, so we put in 1 to 2% of lignocaine, mainly 2% of lignocaine along with adrenaline. This is why anesthesia is given over the skin. जैसे ही आया patient, injection डाला, anesthesia दिया, first thing. Okay, now procedure and the position. Now I told you कि you have to count the cartilage. Start करो count cartilage and then you have to come to T2 and T4. तो जहाँ से तुम्हें थायराइड का बिल्कुल नॉच फील होता है, एक तो तुम्हारा देखो यहाँ पे इफ़ यू फील इज़ योर हायोइड बोन, यहाँ पे, राइट. इधर इफ़ यू फील दीज आर योर ग्लैंड्स, दिस विल बी योर हायोइड बोन, अगर यहाँ पे फील करोगे तो. एंड देन व्हेन विल यू गो डाउन, बॉयज़ विल बी एबल टू फील मच बेटर. जो थायराइड का नॉच है और दी एडम्स एप्पल, वहाँ से देन यू हैव टू गो डाउन. उसी के जस्ट थोड़ा सा नीचे ही हम लेते हैं इंसिजन, क्योंकि वहीं पे तुम्हारा क्रिकोइड कार्टिलेज होता है, राइट. सो इंसिजन के बारे में अगर हम बात करें तो इंसिजन जो है तुम्हारा 4 to 5 सेंटीमीटर का होगा ओवर द स्किन. इट कैन बी वर्टिकल, इट कैन बी हॉरिजॉन्टल, राइट. और अगर देखो 4 to 5 सेंटीमीटर का होगा. दिस इज योर क्रिकोइड कार्टिलेज एंड दिस इज योर स्टर्नो okay, so yeah, it is your cricoid cartilage. Okay, and this is your suprasternal notch. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे 4 to 5 सेंटीमीटर का ऑलमोस्ट तुम इंसिजन लोगे, right. So this will be almost 1 centimeter below the cricoid and this will be almost 2 centimeter below the suprasternal notch. तो ऐसे समझ लो ये तुम्हारा नॉच है, तो 2 breaths, almost 2 breaths तुम ऊपर जाओगे, यहीं पर आएगा. इफ़ यू एक्सटेंड, दिस इज योर थायराइड नॉच, इसी के जस्ट नीचे आएगा. एंड दिस इज योर क्रिकॉइड, तो 1 सेंटीमीटर विच इज़ 1 फिंगर ब्रेथ. तो अप्रॉक्सीमेटली यहाँ पर तुम इंसिजन लोगे. हॉरिजॉन्टल ले लो, वर्टिकल ले लो, दैट डजेंट मैटर. ठीक है, आई टोल्ड यू अबाउट इट. So this is about incision, right. So this is how you have to take incision. ठीक है, emergency है तो vertical लोगे और अगर elective है तो horizontal लोगे, समझा. So hyper extension नहीं करना है. extension यहाँ पर लिया, incision vertical लोगे तो भी 4 to 5 सेंटीमीटर, horizontal लोगे तो भी 4 to 5 सेंटीमीटर. एनेस्थीसिया दे दिया है, इंसिजन लगा लिया है. नेक्स्ट, now comes whenever you will give the incision, now you have the strap muscles here. These are your strap muscles. This is how they are arranged. Now you do not have to cut those muscles. No means no. नहीं करना है कट. ओके, यू जस्ट हैव टू रिट्रैक्ट दोज मसल्स. यहाँ से मसल आएगी, यहाँ से मसल आएगी, यू हैव टू रिट्रैक्ट दैट मसल्स, right? Now what you will encounter is you have a thyroid gland here, so there will be a thyroid gland here. मसल रिट्रैक्ट किया, थायराइड ग्लैंड होगा. क्या थायराइड ग्लैंड को काटोगे? नहीं, वहीं पे खत्म हो जाएगा ऑपरेशन. वाई? बिकॉज इट इज सो वैस्कुलर. तो यू विल पुश इट अप और लैटरली. तुम्हें बस सारी चीज़ें हटानी है. यू आर जस्ट कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड ऑन ट्रकिया, दैट्स ऑल. तो थायराइड को या तो ऊपर पुश किया या साइड में पुश किया. नाउ यू विल बी एबल टू सी योर ट्रकिया. अब T2 से T4 पे कहीं पे भी इंसिजन दे दो, छोटू सा इंसिजन दे दो, एंड एक स्टोमा टाइप क्रिएट हो जाएगा, ओपनिंग बन जाएगी बेसिकली. समझा? और ज़्यादा डीप बिल्कुल नहीं जाना है. वाई? बिकॉज देर इज ईसोफेगस अराउंड इट. ठीक है. नाउ बिफोर दिस, बिफोर लाइक इंसिजन देने से पहले व्हाट यू विल डू इज you have to check, you have to make sure that is this trachea. दिखेगा वो आराम से, but yes, you have to make it sure that this is trachea. What you will do is you will inject 5 to 10 ml of NS. यहाँ पे normal saline डाला, there will be air bubbles, क्योंकि air होगा, थोड़ा बहुत dead space है वहाँ पर, तो residual air होगा, तो bubbles आएंगे. Then you will be sure that yes, this is trachea, and then you have to give the incision, and this is how your procedure is done. Okay, so I will write it here, the procedure. So first step is any incision और vertical incision से पहले lignocaine, right? Lignocaine plus adrenaline. Second step is you have to give vertical or horizontal incision over it. Third step is you have to strap muscles का retraction. तो retract these strap muscles, not cut. Fourth step is you have to move the thyroid. Thyroid can be moved laterally और इट कैन बी मूव्ड अप, डिपेंडिंग कि ज़्यादा स्पेस ऊपर दिख रहा है, साइड में दिख रहा है, तो उसको बस थोड़ा सा साइड करना है. एंड देन कंफर्म इफ इट इज ट्रकिया. ओके, एंड देन गिव इंसिजन विच इज एट T2 से T4. समझा? दिस इज टेक्निक ऑफ डूइंग ट्रकियोस्टोमी. क्लियर? अच्छे से समझा? एक बार दोबारा से बोल लेते हैं कि यहाँ पर तुमने लिग्डोकेन दिया, वर्टिकल इंसिजन, हॉरिजॉन्टल इंसिजन कहाँ पे देना है? 4 to 5 सेंटीमीटर का इंसिजन, 1 सेंटीमीटर बिलो द क्रिकॉइड, 2 सेंटीमीटर अबव द स्टर्नोक्लाविकुलर नॉच, सुप्राक्लाविकुलर नॉच, एंड देन कट. स्ट्रैप मसल्स को रिट्रैक्ट करो, थायराइड को ऊपर पुश करो या लैटरली पुश करो, एंड देन गिव इंसिजन ऑन ट्रकिया. क्लियर? ओके. ओके, ठीक है. Okay, now again this is very important in case of adults and in case of children. Okay, now basically adults का trachea is bigger, right? चिल्ड्रन का ट्रकिया है स्मॉलर बिकॉज उनका शॉर्ट नेक होता है, राइट? तो उधर अगर तुम T2 से T4 दोगे तो इट इज़ वेरी नीचे, राइट? सो चिल्ड्रन में यू हैव टू गिव हायर इंसिजन. ठीक है. एंड in case of carcinoma of larynx, if there is any neoplasm on the larynx, obviously that area is being obstructed by the growth. Okay, so you have to cut the larynx out. ये carcinoma of larynx में I have told you about it. So basically डिपेंड्स क्या करना है तुम्हें. कंप्लीट लैरिंजेक्टमी भी कर सकते हो इन केसेस वेयर देयर इज पुअर प्रोग्नोसिस एंड यू कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग, राइट? सो उस केस में यू हैव टू टेक होल ऑफ द लैरिंग्स आउट. समझ रहे हो? सो इन दैट केस व्हाट वी डू इज वी डू हायर ट्रकियोस्टोमी. वाई? क्योंकि पूरा ग्रोथ है, राइट? तो पूरा ग्रोथ है तो हम कोशिश करते हैं कि वी वांट टू सेव एज मच ट्रकिया एज पॉसिबल, राइट? सो दैट इज़ वाई जितना ऊपर तुम करोगे ग्रोथ के पास उतना तो पूरा लैरिंग्स निकाल लोगे. तो दिस इज हाउ यू विल सेव द पार्ट, राइट? सो इफ यू विल टेक द लैरिंग्स completely out and you're doing it in lower space, T2 से T4 में कर रहे हो तो ट्रकिया बहुत छोटू सा रह जाएगा, ऑलरेडी ऊपर वाला ट्रकिया इज इन्वॉल्व लैरिंग्स वाले चीज़ में, हो सकता है ग्रोथ वहाँ पे भी आ गई हो, राइट। तो हमें वी वांट टू सेव एज मच एज ट्रकिया वी वांट, सो दैट अच्छे से एटलीस्ट उसको एयर मिल सके, ठीक है। बोल नहीं पाएगा वो पेशेंट, ऑब्वियसली लैरिंग्स है, लैरिंग्स गया, देयर इज नो फोनेशन, देयर इज नथिंग, वोकल कॉर्ड्स ही नहीं बचेगा। I'll tell you how the patients phonate. I must have told you in the larynx wala chapter also. So we remove the part and we have to save as much trachea as possible. That is why we do higher tracheostomy, right? So this is very very important point. So in larynx wala thing we have to operate it on T1. Okay, so larynx में children में we have to do higher tracheostomy, otherwise never do higher tracheostomy. Why? Because जितना तुम ऊपर निकालोगे you will be doing something known as laryngeal stenosis हो जाएगा वहाँ पर, और subglottic stenosis हो जाएगा. Why? Because you're creating a stoma over there. When it will heal, it will like do the fibrosis and all, और ऊपर larynx है उसके पीछे. Okay, so basically you have to save as much as trachea possible in case of larynx carcinoma, but normally we do not do higher tracheostomy, we only go for T2 se T4. So what is the complication of doing higher tracheostomy? That is subglottic stenosis. All these are questions, okay? They will be directly asking you the statement. Even in your MCQs these can come, okay? So you have to write it as subglottic stenosis. समझा अच्छे से? Very clear? Okay. So 2 indications where higher tracheostomy is done. Tick tick. Otherwise, why is it not done? Subglottic stenosis. Good to go? Okay. Now we have post-operative counseling or post-operative care. Very 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 important. सर इसमें ना मुझे एक फ़ोटो ऐड करनी है. नेट पे ट्रक्यूस्टो में लिख देती हूँ. पिक्चर्स. वापस से पीपीटी खोल दो. एक एक्स्ट्रा स्लाइड ही ऐड करनी पड़ेगी. 11. हाँ
ब्लर ऐसा ना हो रहा है.
फिर दूसरी देखते हैं. ये वाली कर दो, ये जो ये वाली है. ये सही है. एक अलग से स्लाइड क्रिएट कर दो इसके ऊपर.
ऊपर करना है उसको.
हाँ वो कोई बात नहीं अभी.
ऊपर कर दो उसको.
एक बार वापस से क्रोम खोल दो। एक मिनट वापस से लिख दो। ये वाले। ये। इसको भी अलग से एक और स्लाइड में कर दो।
ऐसा अंडरलाइन मत करो।
अच्छा अंडरलाइन नहीं करूँ?
लेज़र से मार्क करो ऐसा पॉइंट आउट को।
ठीक है।
कहाँ से
थैंक यू सर। Okay, so now this was the comparison. Now let's come to what are the parts of tracheostomy tube and how is it. Okay, most of you might have seen, okay, but yeah, it is my duty to make you aware about all the parts. Okay, so basically just think of one thing. Okay, this is a kind of tracheostomy tube. ऐसे होता है almost, ठीक है. So it has something, ऐसे समझ लो. Okay, so basically वो tube होगा. Okay, so this is your outer tube, this is your inner metal. मैं metal tube की, I'm talking about metal tube. There are plastic tubes also. Metal tubes are mostly not used now because of they can actually create pressure necrosis because of more weight, right? So they will be exerting weight over here, so pressure necrosis वहाँ पर हो सकता है. But yes, you must be aware about structure of both the tubes. So this is the inner tube, this is the outer tube, and this is how flange बोलते हैं उसको. So basically इस पर rest करेगा. So if you are making the tube sit inside, so there's something should be present, no, outside पे, ताकि वो fix कर सके उसको. So this is flange like this. This is your inner tube and this is your outer tube. थोड़ा समझा? Okay, so these are tracheostomy tie strips also. ठीक है, तो उसको हम tie कर देते हैं वहाँ पर suture लगाकर. Okay, so this is the flange that I was talking about. So it has a cuff which can actually create the pressure necrosis. So it has a pressure over here. Okay, तो almost 10 to 30 mm का pressure is maintained ताकि वो tube बाहर ना आए. Plus this also cuff prevents the aspiration, right? अगर इधर से जा रहा है, so all the secretions will be above this, तो वहाँ पर जाकर block नहीं होगा. So okay, so what I am saying is this cuff prevents the aspiration and also keep the tube in its place, right? And what I told you is about the pressure. So 10 to 30 mm of pressure is maintained. What is the side effect? It can cause pressure necrosis. समझा अच्छे से? ओके, नाउ देयर समथिंग कॉल्ड एज ऑब्ट्यूरेटर. तो उसको हम निकालते हैं, तो हम ट्यूब डालते हैं. दैट इज ओनली द फंक्शन ऑफ ऑब्ट्यूरेटर. एंड दिस इज द पिवट बलून वेयर द एयर विल बी इन्फ्लेटेड. ओके, सो दिस इज वन वे वाल्व. ऑब्वियसली वी हैव टू मेंटेन, नो, बाहर बाहर अंदर बाहर, मतलब बेसिकली वी वांट द एयर टू गो इनसाइड, राइट? तो वी हैव टू मेंटेन वन वे वाल्व. या दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द ट्यूब. तो फ्लैंज होगा, इनर ट्यूब होगा, आउटर ट्यूब होगा. ऑब्ट्यूरेटर, इट इज like when we are putting the tube inside, so it has various sizes, right? So बच्चों का it's smaller size obviously, बड़ों का is larger size obviously, so the size is taken accordingly, right? तो उस size की tracheostomy tube is put in and obturator is taken out whenever we put in the tube. So whole outer and inner tube goes in the position. तो it's almost like a curved tube, ऐसे करके tube होता है. And this is the phalange. Okay, and this is how the tube goes in and it rests on the surface. Okay, so I have also picture of your metallic tube. So you can see here, this is the inner tube, this is the outer cannula, and this is the obturator which is taken out. And this obturator is attached with the suture only, ताकि घूम ना हो, right? Or it is tied to the patient's that slip. Admission का slip होता है ना hand पे on the patient, so it is tied to that, or it is kept here only, attached to the sutures. Why? Because it is required to close the tube. Okay, so yeah, this was the structure of ET tube. Okay, Okay, so this is the tracheostomy tube. Now after making the incision on the trachea, you have put in the tube like this. Okay, तो वो tube ऐसे चला जाएगा, and what you do is, अभी तुम्हारा position is like this, right? And now tube is inside this. तो वो tube is like this. Now it is resting on your neck, right? Now what you do is, you basically bring back the position of the neck. नॉर्मल पोजिशन पर, सेंट्रल पोजिशन पर होगा. यू विल रेस्ट योर शोल्डर्स लाइक दिस सो दैट द पेशेंट इज इन नॉर्मल पोजिशन, राइट? एंड देन यू सूचर द phalanges and you keep the tracheostomy tube in the place. Why? वेरी ईजी, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड. अगर मैं उसको ऐसी पोजिशन में सूचर करके रख दूंगी, ऑब्वियसली वेन एवर आई विल डू दिस, वो लूज हो जाएगा, इट कैन कम आउट, राइट? एंड इफ माई शोल्डर्स आर स्ट्रेच लाइक दिस और समथिंग लाइक दिस, इट इज नॉट इन द नॉर्मल पोजिशन, ऑब्वियसली दिस विल क्रिएट अ डिस्कम्फर्ट टू द पेशेंट. सो जस्ट रिमेंबर दिस, that one thing, you have to tie the obturator like here with the tie strings or here with the band on, and second thing is you have to rest the position in the normal position and then you have to tie the tube. Okay, तो obturator संभाल के रखना बहुत ज़रूरी है, and then do this. Okay, so this is very important. Now comes how to check that your tube is in the right position, that is in the trachea. Okay, so to check it, what we do is we can take a x-ray. बहुत आसानी से x-ray ले लो to check कि ट्यूब नॉर्मल पोजीशन पे है, ट्रकिया सही है, ईसोफेगस में there is no incision, any complication, तुम कर सकते हो. But yes, clinically also I have to tell you, so you can just keep your stethoscope and you can auscultate. So you will be able to hear the breath sounds, or you can see कुछ crepitation सुनाई देगा, and you will be able to know that yes, you are in the right position. Auscultate कर लो, और या फिर तुम x-ray कर लो, ठीक है? So this is one other question that is asked. Okay. So yeah, this was whole about the tube. Now comes the procedure post-operative care. Again, this is very important topic, and this includes your counseling part, your how to maintain the take care of the tracheostomy tube, and when the patient is ready to breathe, how you have to take the tube out. So firstly, keeps your pen down and just listen to me. Okay, this is very important part. Okay, now your tube is inside. Now the patient is only breathing, the air is entering inside. Clear? There's nothing coming out. थोड़ा बहुत आ रहा है बाहर, लीक हो रहा है एयर, ओके, बट ऐसा एक्सपिरेशन नहीं हो रहा है फोर्सफुली. सो नाउ द पेशेंट विल नॉट बी एबल टू स्पीक. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. So you have to tell the patient that you will not be able to speak after this procedure. Even if it is elective, you have to properly counsel the patient. Yes, this is very important as it is a life-saving procedure, and when you're already saving a life, then nothing matters. Okay, so one thing is, patient is not able to speak. Okay, so what you will do, you will give a notepad. I have written the wrong definition. I'm so sorry. Okay, so speak. Okay, so you have to give a notepad and a pen to a patient all the time, like on the table, so that patient can communicate via writing. If you're thinking this is your waste of time, why I'm telling you this is very basic, no bachcha, this is not basic. You will be asked this thing and you will not be able to tell it because this is as basic as that, and you will forget it. Okay, so the patient is not able to speak, you have to counsel the patient properly ki it is very important to cure this condition, and after that there are a lot of device you will able to, like we will make you phonate, ठीक है, that I have told you in the carcinoma of larynx. But yes, for now, अभी के लिए you will not be able to speak, and this is your pen and this is your paper, this is how you have to communicate. First important thing. Okay, second is, you have to tell the patient all the time, like you have to take care of the patient, you have to keep the patient under observation for at least 1 day after giving the tracheostomy tube, whether the patient is fine or not, the saturation levels are okay or not, and the patient is adapted to the thing. Okay, it can cause pain and all. Now how to take care of the tracheostomy tube, this is very important. Okay, अब तुम सोचो, the air is directly going in, your nasal path has the like mechanism of removing the dirt, right? That is how your like works, like all the cilias that are present or the hair cells that are present in your nasal cavity, it removes the dirt, okay, and some amount of fresh air goes in, correct. So trachea mein to directly air ja raha hai, theek hai, there is stoma and directly air is going in, so there will be secretions also, and there will be, you know, bad substances or something called as dirt that will be deposited. So every 2 to 3 days, okay, or every 7 days for adults, you can say, the suctioning has to be done, and you have to clear the tube, very very important. So there can be crusting developed, or there can be like anything. You have to prevent the pooling of the secretion, you have to suction, actually you have to take the, okay, now how do you do it? The tube is inside, you do not have to touch the phalange, you do not have to touch the outer tube. तुम पूरी ट्यूब निकाल के उसको क्लीन नहीं करते हो, नो, यू जस्ट टेक द इनर ट्यूब आउट, इनर ट्यूब को निकालोगे, क्लीन करोगे विद दी NS एंड ऑल, एंड देन यू विल पुट इट अगेन इनसाइड, ठीक है. बट येस, समटाइम्स दिस कैन लीड टू कॉम्प्लिकेशन, बट it is safe thing, okay, nurses mostly do. And if the patient is asked to keep tracheostomy tube for like long time, in that case the relatives are being told about this procedure, so they just have to take the inner tube out and then clean it and then wapas se put it inside, okay. So there's nothing harm in doing, but yes, you have to do this part, you have to remove the crust, you have to do the suctioning. This is how the patient will able to breathe nicely, okay. Okay, so this decannulation wala thing is very important. This is to be done in detail, okay. Okay, so now I told you that you have to take the tube out, you have to suction, and you have to remove the crust. So now comes the disadvantage of the metallic tubes. Why metallic tubes are not used now? Why? Because they can also go under corrosion, metal hai, right? So it can also cause pressure necrosis, I told you, ठीक है. Obviously it has more weight than plastic. It can also cause fistula formation, थोड़ा शार्प हुआ तो वो लग जाएगा, राइट. सो दिस आर दी एडवांटेजेस ऑफ द मेटल ट्यूब्स ओवर द प्लास्टिक ट्यूब्स, सो दैट इज व्हाई वी यूज नाउ plastic tubes, okay. Now I told you that there's a cuff over there which has a pressure of 10 to 30 mm of Hg, and it needs to be maintained. Why? Because it prevents the aspiration and it also prevents the displacement of the tube, right? So now cuff has to be deflated. There are tubes available which do not have cuffs, right? So but the tubes which has cuff, and these are inflated cuffs, right, because we have to push in the air so that the tube can be in the place. So this has to be deflated after every 7 days in case of adults, sorry, in case of children, and after every 3 days in case of adults. So we take it out, we decuff it so that it do not cause pressure necrosis, and we again inflate it. Samjha? Okay. Okay, so or you can change it to uncuffed tubes. So cuffed tubes are really like, it can damage the thing. Basically what you're doing is you are doing tracheostomy so that you can get time of thinking why this condition has happened to the patient and what is the other thing to cure, right? जैसे कार्सिनोमा लैरिंग्स हुआ, there is no other way. अगर T4 stage तक वो पहुंच गया, there is no other way. You have to remove the larynx hole out, you have to create a stoma over there, tracheostomy करोगे, and you will give the devices to a person to phone it. There you have to know this thing, okay. But in other cases wherever there is infection or something, you have to just create it temporarily, and after 3 to 4 days, in case of adults, you have to change the tube from cuffed to uncuffed. Samjha? Okay. Okay, so this was care of the tracheostomy tube. Now comes the third post-operative care, which is very important, that is humidification of the air. What does that mean? This actually causes the crusting. Why crusting occurs? Okay, basically when you are breathing from your nose, that is why you are told to not to be mouth breathers during night especially. So basically your nose, your vestibule has the function of humidifying your air, which is it decreases the pressure of the air, right? So the air goes in humidified. Now we have created a stoma over here. There's no mechanism of humidification, so it will be directly going on. It will create a dry atmosphere around, dry patches ho jayega, crusting hoga. So what we do is we either we can use the devices, there are humidifiers available in the market. So basically these, what does these device do, they just brings in the moisture content, right? तो moisture होता है, इसी वजह से थोड़ा dryness कम होगा, right? So what we can do is we can use these devices, but yes, these are costly. Or what we can do is we can create a room where we have humidified air and we can keep all the tracheostoma patients. Or third thing, which is very low budget, you can take a gauze piece which is wet, or you can keep it here. ठीक है, तो वो वेट होगा, मॉइस्चर होगा, तो इट विल बी नॉट कॉजिंग ड्राइनेस और क्रस्टिंग ऑफ द एयर. समझा? सो दिस इज हाउ यू हैव टू प्रिवेंट द ह्यूमिडिफिकेशन ऑफ एयर, विच इज, यू कैन राइट 3 points, that is humidifiers, which are the device, or room which can be humidified, and third thing is your gauze piece. समझा अच्छे से? ओके. So now the last thing that is kept is decannulation of tube. What does that mean? Now you have to take the tube out. Okay. Now you cannot keep the tube in place for long time, except in case of carcinoma larynx, except, okay, like where permanent tracheostomy is done. In otherwise, when the indication is over, now you have to remove the tube. Now let's create a situation that you have put in the tube and now it's been almost 4 days, and now you ask the patient, like 2 days के लिए तुमने उसको admit किया, 2 days के लिए तुमने उसको घर भेजा, now you ask the patient to come in and get a follow-up, right? And now you check whether the indication for which tracheostomy was done is subsided or not. Okay, now you checked it, now you got it that yes, the indication for which tracheostomy was done is over. Okay. Okay, now what you have to do is you have to make the patient adaptable to breathe normally from the mouth. If it is not neoplasm or something, just imagine respiratory distress hua tha and now you have to take the tube out. What you do is, this is very smart work that the person who has invented. Okay, listen to this. This was your trachea, for example, and this was the tube जिसने पूरा एरिया ले रखा था ऑलमोस्ट. ठीक है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल ऐसे है. ठीक है, सो दिस वॉज योर ट्यूब एंड दिस इज योर कफ्ड ट्यूब. ठीक है, यहाँ पर पूरा कफ हुआ हुआ. नाउ इधर उसने पूरा एरिया ले रखा था. ओके, वॉट यू डू इज, यू कैन नॉट रिमूव द ट्यूब एट वंस कि रिमूव कर दिया जाओ घर. नो, यू हैव टू एडमिट द पेशेंट. दिस इज एन ओपीडी, दिस इज नॉट इवन एन ओपीडी प्रोसीजर. वेन एवर यू आर completely taking the tube out, you have to prepare yourself कि I might have to perform this procedure again. So it is done in OT with all the equipments used in tracheostomy ready. Okay, so what I do is, ये ऐसे था normally. What I do is, for like पहले के लिए I will reduce the size of the tube. मैंने प्रॉपर उसके साइज़ की ट्यूब डाली थी. नाउ व्हाट आई डू इज़ छोटे डायमीटर की ट्यूब यूज़ करूँगी. सो व्हाट विल बी देयर, एक पैसेज होगा यहाँ पे, देयर विल बी स्पेस अराउंड दैट ट्यूब सो दैट एयर कैन गो इनसाइड इट, राइट? सो देयर इज एक्स्ट्रा स्पेस ओवर देयर. तो दिस इज़ हाउ यू विल मेक द पेशेंट अडेप्ट टू न्यू थिंग्स. तो तुमने पहले 4 आवर्स के लिए छोटा ट्यूब डाला, फिर 12 आवर्स के लिए और छोटा ट्यूब डाला, राइट? एंड आफ्टर दैट यू सी दैट पेशेंट इज अडेप्टिंग टू इट प्रॉपरली. नाउ यू विल रिमूव द ट्यूब. अच्छे से you have to remove the tube, but you have to be ready with all the procedures. Now you're taking the tube out. You have to check whether the person is stable, whether the person is breathing properly, and then finally you decide yes, everything is normal, the vitals are normal, and then you tell the patient that you are good to go. Even after that, when you are monitoring the patient, you do not suture it. You do not close the incision. Why? Because if you're doing it again and again, वो fibrosis होगा, कम space होगा. No. When you see that person has completely adapted, then only you suture the skin and let the patient go home. समझा? This is what decannulation means. ओके, समझा अच्छे से. सो व्हाट यू हैव टू राइट हियर इज 3 points. दैट फर्स्ट, यूज द स्मॉलर साइज ट्यूब, राइट. यूज स्मॉलर साइज ट्यूब फॉर 4 hours, फॉर 12 hours, फॉर मोर आवर्स, ताकि पेशेंट अडेप्ट हो जाए. एंड देन यू हैव टू कीप इन चेक 24 hours के लिए कि दैट now you are completely removing the tube, and then you are checking whether the patient is stable or not, and thirdly then you have to suture it after making sure that everything is fine. सूचर पहले मत करना, डायरेक्टली ट्यूब निकाल दी, सूचर कर दिया, नाउ यू आर चेकिंग कि पेशेंट के वाइटल स्टेबल है, नहीं स्टेबल है, वापस से प्रोसीजर करो. नो, व्हेन यू आर सेंडिंग होम, just prior to that you have to suture things. Okay, clear? Okay, so now the last part that is left in this chapter, I think I've taken long discussion. Why? Because this is very important, and secondly I have not written everything just to make you clear with the things. So now you have to remember the complications. There are obviously, whenever you're writing surgery, so there are immediate, intermediate and late complications. So this is the category that you have to make. सबसे पहला complication क्या दिमाग में आता है इमीडिएट में? दैट इज हेमरेज, राइट. तो व्हेन यू आर पुटिंग इन ट्यूब, इंसिजन ले रहे हो तो बहुत आराम से हेमरेज हो सकता है. ठीक है, ओके. सो द हेमरेज कैन बी देयर. व्हाई? बिकॉज देयर इज ग्लैंड ओवर हियर. उसकी कोई भी आर्टरी गई, खत्म. वैस्कुलर ग्लैंड है, थायराइड पे इंसिजन गया तो भी खत्म. तो हेमरेज. ओके, सो दिस कैन बी, there can be hemorrhage. Second thing है aspiration. तो वो तो blood था, और the secretions that, for example, अगर stasis of secretions है वो तुम remove कर रहे हो, वो उससे पहले ही नीचे चली गई, तो aspiration हो सकता है, right. Then apnea हो सकता है. If you're not putting in the tube properly, tube गया ही नहीं अंदर, ठीक है, तो कार्बोजन देना पड़ेगा उसको, एपनिया हो सकता है. देन न्यूमोथोरैक्स, इफ यू पंचर, बेसिकली तुम्हारा जो क्लाविकल है उसके ऊपर, मतलब योर लंग्स का जो अपर वाला पार्ट है, एपेक्स, इट कम्स टिल हियर ऑलमोस्ट, राइट. सो वहाँ पे पंचर हो गया, प्लूरा पे पंचर हो गया, इट कैन कॉज न्यूमोथोरैक्स, राइट. And obviously when you're doing it, there can be damage to any of the adjacent tissue, which is your nerve, which is your artery. Okay, so intermediate mein I'm writing firstly, which is intermediate. So you have to remember hemorrhage, which is, yes, most common complication. It can be fatal also. Then asphyxia, or you can say your apnea that can occur. And then write the correct spelling. Okay, 1 second. Okay, asphyxia can occur, and then there can be pneumothorax. If you puncture the pleura of the lung, there can be injury to the adjacent tissues. ठीक है, there can be aspiration of the contents. These are the intermediate complications, or the complications that you can face during the procedure. Now immediate, sorry. Now comes your intermediate. So most common, I'm writing it here only. So most common is your tube obstruction, राइट. वो सेक्रीशंस की वजह से ट्यूब ऑब्स्ट्रक्ट ही हो गया, ठीक है. और इफ़ देयर इज़ फॉर एग्जांपल एनी इन्फ्लेमेशन दैट कैन अकर नियर द ट्यूब, एंड ऑल्सो देयर कैन बी ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन ऑफ द ट्यूब. सो दिस इज़ वेरी वेरी कॉमन, ठीक है, मोस्ट कॉमन कॉम्प्लिकेशन दैट इज अकरिंग. सो द ट्यूब कैन बी पार्शली ब्लॉक्ड, सो इट कैन बी completely blocked. So in that case you have to take the tube out, you have to clear the space, and then you have to again put in. Okay, now very important thing is subcutaneous emphysema. Most of you miss this complications. I've never seen someone telling this, but it is very cool thing, no? What is emphysema? It is trapping of air, right? So whenever there is space around the tube, which is what the mechanism we are using during decannulation. So whenever there is space around the tube, there can be like collection of the air due to the leakage, right? So we just have to choose the perfect tube for that person and close the stoma very nicely. So otherwise the air will leak and there will be collection of the air, which is referred to as subcutaneous emphysema. So intermediate mein we have learned, which is two: tube obstruction, subcutaneous emphysema. Yes, there can be fistulas also, ट्रकियोइसोफेजियल फिस्टुलास, ये सब हो सकता है. ओके, Okay, so lastly we have the late complications, which is obviously there can be infections. प्लास्टिक ट्यूब्स को भी वो ख़राब कर सकते हैं, और एनी वेयर अगर एयर डायरेक्टली जा रहा है, बैक्टीरिया इनहेल हो गया, देर कैन बी इन्फेक्शंस. ठीक है. देन there can be granulation tissue that can be formed around the tube, obviously due to inflammation and all. So again, that is a big issue. Then there can be fistulas also in the late complication. Okay, tracheocutaneous fistulas can be formed directly into the skin. Again, that can cause the infection. And obviously there can be difficulty in decannulation. कुछ भी problem हुआ, if the tube is not taken out properly, right, if the sutures are not done properly, any step that can go wrong during decannulation, again we have to perform the tracheostomy if the patient is not able to maintain the like airway, patent airway, or other complications that occur. Okay, so yeah, one more thing I would like to tell you here is actually tracheostomy reduces about 30% of dead space, क्योंकि यू आर रिमूविंग इट, नो, यू आर रिमूविंग अ पार्ट ऑफ थिंग. ठीक है, पहले तो यू आर putting in incision, and then some amount of air always leaks out, like 1 to 2%. So obviously this dead space reduces, right? So there's less amount of residual volume, so this actually reduces the dead space by 30%. Okay, so yeah, these are the complications, and you have to remember in these headings. Okay, and I'm telling you again, in this topic this is very important, firstly. Secondly, for the patient you really have to counsel patient properly, like to convince for elective tracheostomy, it's very difficult, right? So you have to tell the patient. I told you that you patient can't speak, so you have to tell कि notepad है, ये है, बोलो, for that temporary being. But agar there is indication that you have to do permanent tracheostomy, then you have to use their devices. यहाँ पे vibration cause करके then they can speak, and the always speech is not similar to previous speech. Okay, secondly, they can also have issues related like dysphagia. Why? Because there's something here, no? So there will be difficulty in eating, there will be difficulty in swallowing, so dysphagia hoga. Then the patient is not able to ventilate sinuses also, क्योंकि यहाँ से तो एयर जा ही नहीं रहा है, right? जा रहा है, person is not breathing. This is how we ventilate. And so your sinuses are ventilated during expiration. Now you're not expiring through nose. Air थोड़ा बहुत जा रहा है जो अपने आप जा रहा है. Forced expiration, forced inspiration नहीं हो रहा है, expiration तो बिल्कुल नहीं हो रहा है. So your sinuses will not be at all ventilated. So when your sinuses are not ventilated, sinusitis होगा, right? So I'm just writing it here कि post क्या हो सकता है, और what counseling you have to done is that there will be dysphagia a little bit, the patient is obviously not able to speak, there can be sinusitis like recurrent infections, or right, so patient have to really take good care of himself. Okay, and obviously I told you that no humidification, so drying, crusting, ये सब तो होगा ही होगा. Okay, and then obviously one thing more, that during expiration your chest expands, right? And your like larynx also helps in the chest expansion, right? So your chest expansion will also be poor, so you will not be able to lift heavy weights and all. You're not allowed to bend so much because it can displace your tracheostomy tube, right? So these are all things you're not able to cough even, right? So all these things you have to tell to patient so that the patient is well aware. कोशिश ही नहीं करे, हो सकता है if the patient is trying and you have not told the patient that this might happen to you, right? So the patient will be in distress. वो tracheostomy से मरे ना मरे, mental peace से ही मर जाएगा, समझ रहे हो? So you just have to tell everything to the patient. Dysphagia हो सकता है, you do not have to lift heavy things. Okay, so these are all things that you have to take care. And yeah, that is all it. I have tried my maximum to inculcate everything in this PPT. Okay, so I think we have done. I'm just telling you what we have studied is, we studied about the definition, how the incision is made, anatomy, then what are the functions of tracheostomy, how it helps, what are the types of tracheostomy, what are the indications of tracheostomy, and then the technique that is used, then the procedure, then the steps of tracheostomy, then the comparison where higher tracheostomy, lower tracheostomy is done, the parts of tracheostomy tube. Yes, you will be like asked that explain this tracheostomy tube, what are the structures you can see in the tracheostomy tube. Okay, and then post operative care, you have to explain everything to the patient, how to take the tube out, when to take the tube out. So that is need to be done very nicely, okay? And the complications, okay? So yeah, that was it about whole lecture. I hope I tried my best to make you understand each and every point, and I'm telling you again and again, please make notes of this chapter according to you. Whatever information you want to write, whatever diagrams you have to make, whatever correlations you have to make it according to you. I have tried to write everything with you, okay? Just the points that you do not miss out, and those are important. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much. कितना लंबा हुआ है?
1 घंटा 1.5 घंटा हुआ